I love friends, and they can have my things when we're dead. But we gonna live forever. We gonna live forever.
You know what it is. You know it's this jizz. You know I'm about to fizz.
Ew.
You know I'm about to piz.
Piz?
That's me pissing, but you have to, sometimes in rap, you have to make the things rhyme.
Yeah.
And then you know that my name's not Chris.
Chris?
My name's not Chris.
Everybody hates Chris.
And you know I like sniz.
Oh, that's a good one. I like sniz.
Yeah.
I've been known to like sniz.
And then you also know... I'm not.
That's how every good rap battle ends. As the guy goes, I almost got it.
That's how most rap battles go. He goes,
Hands up it. Thought I had it.
I got no more for sniz. F in the comments for my death.
F in the comments.
Briz. And Danny got his dick cut off at his briz. Briz. All right.
Well, we got that out of our system.
You know what I was thinking?
That you've been stinking.
That you've been stinking. And I've been drinking.
Yeah.
That was a big one. That song.
You know who freed the slaves? Abe Lincoln.
You know, there's a good like new Kid Rock song that I haven't heard it yet. Apparently, it goes fuck Facebook.
Yeah,
he's up to his old
Fauci.
trick.
He's like literally.
You've heard it?
No, but I saw they've been posting about it.
I haven't heard it.
It's like anti-Fauci. I think it's like a Let's Go Brandon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The Kid Rock. I can't remember what I was gonna say with him now. You got me fucking off my topic, dude. That's what you do to me. That's what you fucking go through.
I was just trying to think of a word that rhymes with topic.
That's because you blew a D.
Yeah.
Sucking on these.
D's.
Kid fucking Rock. You know, like, there's all that thing where, you know, girls always like say that, kind of on everything, there's this very like, oh, I don't want to, you know, I would never, you know, I hate war and I hate, like, I mean, everyone probably does, but there's, let me think of a better example. There's like, girls are always kind of like, you know, you should, like, there shouldn't be cops would be like a very like feminine thing, right?
Well, that was the guy from the earlier episode in the barber shop where he for a second was trying to be like, yeah, what are cops good? And the guy's like, the crime rate in the city's insane. We need cops. And then the guy goes, you know what? Yeah, it's like I actually work as a security guard. Yeah, we probably do need cops. Like the guy's like was all over the place. But this guy literally says like, we don't need cops. Cops are bastards. And he goes, have you ever had any bad experiences with cops? The guy's like, me personally, no. No, I like cops. What the fuck?
Well, I was thinking it's very similar.
Yeah, like chicks are like, there should be no taxes. You're like, okay.
I mean, I'd say there should be no taxes. Men say there should be no taxes. Anyways, my point is, I feel like there's a lot of correlation to how they are with bugs, where they go, you know, like a lot of girls have dated have been like, no, I just don't think you should kill any living beings. Like I would never kill a bug or whatever. But then like you could kill it for them.
Yeah.
Like they go, hey, there's a bug here. Can you go kill it? So it's like, so if you don't care if it's being killed, you just don't want to be the one killing it.
Yeah, you're fine writing the fucking death sentence out. You just don't want to be the executioner.
They're right. That's 1,000%. And I didn't come up with the perfect analogy beforehand, but I'll tell you what it definitely wasn't. Your taxes analogy. That was maybe I don't know how you thought that was possible.
You know how bitches be hating paying taxes?
Yeah, I don't know where that came out of left field.
They just hate paying taxes.
Yeah. I don't know what was going on with that tax analogy. The girls are...
Oh, sorry. Did I say taxes? I meant buying things.
Okay, now we're
paying for dinner.
And we're back. And we're back. You said it right though. Yeah, you want it. You don't want to be. You want to not be the executioner, but you're fine with writing the death sentence.
Yeah.
Have you seen the racist rant, dude? That was pretty actually racist.
At the
smoothie
boy.
boy.
Not to defend him because his life has totally been ruined.
Went through a lot of cycles on this one myself.
Okay, so I only saw a quick thing. The only thing I saw is he called them an immigrant. Was that the extent of his racism? I mean, he was insane. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's like went fucking absolutely like that was like
immigrant.
I mean, he's like might have a Snickers commercial coming up because that guy needed a Snickers badly. But He was like, "You immigrant." He's like, "Give me a fucking," and then he tried to come back there, and they're like filming him. He's like, "Let me," and I was like, "Okay, this guy's fucking off. Like, this guy's off the rails." If there was a dude there, like that guy's lucky that shop was just like a bunch of young chicks.
Very
like,
lucky.
You gotta got your fucking clock clean, man.
Clock clean.
Oh my god! Like that was the kind of thing I'm watching. Like, I hope some dude comes in here and just fucking beats the shit out of this guy.
So my first initial reaction was like, "This guy's fucking nuts." Obviously, the girls are kind of.
But was the
annoying.
racism thing just the immigrant
Well,
comment?
did you know why it happened?
No.
So this is where, again, there's always levels to things, right?
Well,
there's
the thing
levels
is,
of anger.
You don't. Well, also, and you don't know
Well,
with
what-
all these things.
Well, I'm
you don't
telling-
know
I'm
what
about to tell you.
No, but I'm saying you don't know what happened before someone started recording. Because oftentimes,
Yes, I do.
No, I'm saying when you watch the video, like when you see a video, you go, like, you think this is the extent of it. But there's, yeah.
So you watch it and you think this guy's fucking going crazy because he got his smoothie exploded or whatever.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, they didn't do a good job with this smoothie.
Yeah.
So you're watching being like, this is. So what actually happened was, and I went back and forth. I'm not, you know, I still think it was crazy or whatever. But then the second thing, apparently what he was mad about is a little more reasonable. What he's mad about is his kid's allergic to peanut butter. And he said, hey, I really need to make sure that there can't be any peanut butter. And he double checked being like, is there no peanut butter in this? And they all said yes. And then his son took it and started having this fucking allergic reaction. And the son went to the hospital, basically.
A little more on his side now.
Right? So that was but then you kind of go, okay, well, why didn't he go to the hospital with his son? He sent his son in the hospital, they call it a bus in the industry.
Yeah.
So he sent his son in the bus, and then did he go to the hospital, make his son's okay, and go back there to fight them? Because that's what he was.
Maybe. I mean,
that's his
again, there's
story.
like, you know, that's, you know, if you're fucking someone like tried to kill your child, then you go, maybe
That's
a
how
little,
he sees
maybe
it.
a little garden variety xenophobia is not the worst thing in the world.
It's all relative, right?
Yes.
But then the other part of it, when you go back now, he was fired from his job or whatever. Then it was kind of like, then you're at the thing where you're like, hey, I guess you could call that cancel culture, but you could also say like, to go back to my loose cannon thing, I don't know, like, I'm sure if you're like a type of guy that like blows up all the time, like, I don't know, maybe depends where you work. He said he worked at a bank. I mean, I
No,
don't
he's
know.
a financial advisor. I saw something because some guy on TikTok like did this TikTok about like, hey, this is the guy. We found his LinkedIn. He ran,
Yeah, I mean,
he ran like $500 million worth of money or
I
something.
don't love all that sort of shit, but like, would you want someone like working for you that's like fucking?
I mean, again, it's
blowing
one
up
of those
a
things
smoothie
where you're
shop
just
in
like,
one
look,
place,
it's like,
calling
dude,
them-
it's like we're Charles Schwab. You're like, we might agree with you, but you understand that you can't work here anymore because of what's going on with the like virality of this clip. They're like us, like we
No,
might.
no. So that I agree with.
Yeah.
Of course. There's like the real answer is like, yeah, dude, this was a #1 viral story, and you're a fucking copy and racist on it or whatever, right?
and you're like in this thing, or like, you know, your public enemy #1, and it looks terrible because there's no context. To
But
it.
also, I'm always like, this is not even, you know, the racist thing aside or whatever. I'm like, I usually try to work with people that aren't fucking total like, of
course,
loose cans. Where I go, to be honest, I bet you if I was,
I'm sure
if that guy was my employee, I bet you I would already have been like, this guy's a fucking.
But also,
handful.
imagine you work with him. You go, you know what? We've never seen anything like that from him.
Well, what do you think the
before.
odds of that are, though? That's my question. is.
Probably decent.
Have
like
you ever?
that thing?
No, but like if someone like you, I've never seen you go crazy or explode.
No,
what are
but
the odds that I'm gonna see?
but if
that?
I
Whereas
had-
every one of my friends who has, I go, yeah, he's a loose
I mean,
cannon.
I don't have a child, but I have a niece, and I'm sure if fucking like I had to go take my niece to the hospital and thought she was gonna die because some fucking dumb idiot at a smoothie shop poisoned her, I might fucking
Well, that was the interesting
I
part,
might have
yeah.
like come back
You
there
m-
and
if
have a
your
bit
buddy-
of an out of body experience.
If the guy comes back and he was like, well, yeah, they fucking like
how are you
my
supposed to
son
cancel
almost
them?
died.
You go,
whatever.
this guy's getting canceled. You go, okay, well, what was my recourse to cancel them? Go back and be like, I'm leaving you a bad Yelp review.
Exactly.
Like, what am I supposed to do?
So this one, well, I mean, you guess you could sue or something, but this one,
Can you?
well, I mean, I don't know, not if maybe probably there's no damages, but anyways, that was interesting, right? Because that was one that I watched, and then as soon as then you're like, oh, that's insane.
That
And then
being
you-
said, my brother is allergic to peanuts, and he has like no shortage of stories where he goes somewhere. He goes, "Hey, I go to a restaurant. He goes, "Hey, I'm allergic to peanuts," and they go, "Okay." And my brother's like, "Just to be clear, like I'm allergic to peanuts. There's no peanuts in this." And then they're like, "Yeah, no peanuts in this." And then he's eating, and he's like, "There's peanuts in this."
That's the next thing that I was also told is that if you are allergic to peanuts, this is almost like par for the course.
It is very par for the course.
Like you always have your EpiPen on. Like apparently, if you're a peanut allergy person, it's very par for the course.
Again, you're going to a smoothie shop that's employs teenagers who are likely like high. They're not sending their best people.
They're not sending their best.
They're not sending their best people.
So you have this situation where you have sort of the woke world combined with like the old school, like, peanut allergy woke.
Yeah. You know what the real move
cannon
is?
Dad.
You know what the real move is if you're going to have one of these meltdowns, you need to have like, I don't know, like
a camera zapper. Like
yeah,
Will Smith style.
like honestly, like not even like a camera. Remember, like in yeah, like something like that, or like maybe like a good mask. Like, hey, if you're gonna have a meltdown that you think
meltdown
mask. There we go, meltdown mask product. Let's go on Shark Tank.
You put it on, it's a fake face,
and maybe looks like Trump or something, or just whatever. Face of color, yeah. And you go and you be like, "You fucking dumb immigrants," and then you have your whole tirade. You feel good.
I sort of did
you kind of scare them a little bit.
I have a joke like that on my special where I say that the homeless guys, they're out there calling girls cunts and everything. They take off their fake homeless beard and costume, just goes back to his job as a banker, just blowing off steam.
Because I will say this, those girls who work there probably will think twice in the future when someone says, "Hey, like my child has a peanut allergy."
That's true.
They might be like, "You know what? This is more serious than we understand.
Very possible.
So let's like be careful about not putting peanuts in it because like this might happen again." Mm-hmm. And if that was a woman, I guess no. Even if that was a woman, she'd be a Karen. The only way that that's acceptable to do is if you're not white. Because if he wasn't white, if he was like fucking Jamaican, dude,
people would be more
fucking immigrant trash. They'd be like, but he's also an immigrant. You'd be like, that's weird that he's calling.
Well, he's not an immigrant. He's just black.
But he's also I'm saying he's like Jamaican guy, like from Jamaica.
Oh, I guess they are the immigrants.
Yeah, or whatever. And then you'd have to like but so. You got to be careful with that.
There's an interesting conflict of events once the peanut allergy got involved.
Yeah, once the peanut.
It's kind of like the old school peanut news.
But again, it's with every one of these things. You always like even the fucking Central Park Karen thing. Remember? And then they like Barry Weiss did this whole thing and they were like, yeah, it seems like she's fair. Like when you get all the info, you go, yeah, it seems like pretty reasonable thing she did. It seems like that guy was kind of a piece of shit and she seemed kind of reasonable. It's like, but the most unreasonable thing was ruining her entire life over it.
Yeah.
That was the most unreasonable thing in all
by far. Yeah. Well, some people are taking steps to avoid being fired from their job, and that is celebrity chefs.
Crypto.
This celebrity chef, everyone kind of said this, but Jamie Oliver, celebrity chef advisors. He hires advisors to avoid culturally appropriating recipes, right?
Yeah.
What I've been doing is I like to hire people to make sure that no one's culturally appropriating my recipes.
Yeah.
So if I see any person that is of any ethnicity other than white trash Canadian making a cheese dream on YouTube.
Yeah.
If I so much as sniff.
I have cheese dream written down here, by the way.
That you made
in relation to this. No, in relation to this.
That what?
That was your cookbook will be the only cookbook that offends no one.
Well, it is going to offend me if people use my recipe.
I'm saying your cookbook.
My cookbook.
There'll be nobody who's going to accuse you of appropriating shit. Well, you go, here's a cheese dream. You go, here's a piece of white bread with some ketchup on it. Nobody's going to...
Is that what you think a cheese dream is?
No. That's page 2. That's the second recipe is the white bread with ketchup on it.
What do you think a cheese dream is?
I can't remember. It's what piece of cheese on something with the microwave. What was a cheese dream again?
Well, there's different types. So
lay them on me.
This is the deluxe cheese dream.
Yeah.
So you take a piece of bread, you toast it, Kraft single on that, chop up wieners. Mm-hmm. So you basically put the chop up wieners, put the wieners on top of the cheese. Just calling them
wieners is some of the trashiest shit on earth, by the way.
What do you call them?
Hot dogs?
Well, they're just wieners. Hot dogs is with the bun on.
It's a hot dog.
Okay. And if you remove the bun, it's still a hot dog?
Yeah. It's a hot dog in a bun. It's like, what do you think the pack
says?
So when you buy a pack of hot dogs, it doesn't say a pack of wieners.
Yeah, it does.
What, in Germany maybe?
So when you go, every time you order a hot dog,
Brian's
you go.
gaslighting me
So
right now.
every time you order a hot dog, you go, "Hey, I'll have a hot dog," and if you don't mind, put a bun around it.
No, it's implied that the bun comes on it, but it's a hot dog, a pack of hot dogs, and a pack of hot dog buns. It's like one of those things, like a pair of pants. It's not a pair; it's one pant.
All right.
What's going on here?
Well, fine, I'll give you that one. But either way, you're a little cocky about it when the fact that you don't have to.
You're literally the only person I know who calls them wieners.
Well, that's what they are.
They're hot dogs.
Well, fucking, you just don't like it because you think that's appropriating your fucking name, Wiener Man. Well, so basically you cut up the wieners and then you put those on the Kraft single and you put the whole thing in the microwave for about 30 seconds.
That would be, not to fucking tell you how to do your business, but that would be so much better if you did that in like a toaster oven versus a microwave.
That toaster oven is definitely an option. I've done that as well.
Yeah, that sounds better on a toaster
Well,
oven.
if you have a toaster
Or
oven.
a broiler.
I mean, if you have a toaster oven, I recommend the toaster oven, but not everyone has a toaster oven.
Or a broiler.
Danny's always talking about his fancy products.
Yeah.
Mr. Fancy Boy.
I don't even own I don't even own one either. But
Mr. Fancy
a
Boy.
broiler will do it.
Okay,
You put
so
ketchup on that?
you can, but
Like,
I'm
is
not
that closer to
no, I
a
don't put
sandwich or
ketchup on
closer to
that.
a hot dog?
Closer to a sandwich. I don't put ketchup on that.
Like, would you be like, would it
Closer
taste-
to a dream.
It's closer to a dream. Like, could you just do a hot dog with cheese on top of it? Is that basically the same thing? Is it
No.
just a deconstructed hot dog with cheese on it?
What? No, putting a toasted piece of bread.
Well, look, you take a hot dog bun, you put a hot dog bun, hot dog, or a wiener, as you call it, Kraft singles on top of that.
It's not a sandwich. You don't put a piece of toast on top of it.
Well, I'm saying I'm just saying it's bread, cheese, hot dog. It's just we're talking about the order of operations here, but
We're not really
like when it
talking-
goes inside it. Like when you take a bite, every bite you're getting is bread, hot dog, cheese. In both scenarios, it's just the presentation.
Yeah, but it's a
we're
different
arguing over.
mix. It's a different, and they've all been melted together.
Well, you'd be melting the cheese in the hot dog scenario.
Yeah.
I just fucking blew Ryan's mind.
No, you didn't, because the hot dog bun is not a piece of toast as well.
It's the same type of bread. It's just
No, it's not. So yes, if you want to put, you can also, which I have done, made hot dogs with a piece of toast, but it's a bit of a different scenario. It's not a hot dog. You're saying
Well,
a
I
hot
guess-
dog bun and a piece of toast is the same?
Well, it's the same type of bread. It's just the form of it's different. I guess there's less of the the Maillard effects or whatever because there's less like surface area that's getting toasted.
Well, pizza pockets is another thing that I like.
I like pizza pockets.
Yeah, so
Love a pizza pocket.
but that's a sort of an Italian. That's my
When was
Italian
the last time you had a
dish.
pizza pocket? Like
I have them now.
You have them now? I haven't had them in many years. I should maybe put
I have
them back.
pizza pockets now. I have bagel bites now, and you know what else I have?
Oh, bagel bites.
Bagel bites now, and you know what else I have?
Yeah.
Is the wieners that that have like dough around them.
So, yeah, fucking pigs in a blanket.
Things in a blanket.
That's so. Holy shit! They must have loved you on Are You Garbage.
Pigs in a blanket.
Pigs, like you buy them just like frozen from Target.
Small ones. They're mini pigs in blankets. So Fancy Danny doesn't like this shit.
I like that stuff. It's just like
Mac and cheese is
Dude,
another
you
big
you
one,
literally eat like when I was 8. If my mom goes, "What do you want to eat? Anything you want."
Yeah,
Let's
you
go.
knew it, before you started, when you actually knew what food you liked. Now, before all the world got to
I like all that
change
stuff.
your opinions.
No, I do like all that stuff.
Well,
Not cheese dream. Cheese dream actually.
so this guy,
disgusting. I would
he's,
be,
and it is, sorry.
I'd be
it-
angry if I got served that.
I would be, I'd be definitely, I might open up a cheese dream shop. Like, you know how fucking Mark Wahlberg opened up his thing?
Yeah, Wahlburgers.
If I get rich
Cheese
enough,
dream-
I think
cheese
I'm going to
dream
open up a
burgers?
cheese dream franchise.
What about just like you don't even need a franchise though? You can just do that from.
It
a
was
cart.
only cheese dream.
I used to read Cheese Dream magazine. You could just do a cart for that.
Salt and pepper. You can also, if you really want to get into
I mean,
it,
the
you can put a tomato on
halal
it, too.
carts. The halal carts could probably whip you up a Cheese Dream.
I don't trust them to
But
make
I'm
it.
saying, you just say, "Hey, this is what I want."
They're not white.
Oh fuck!
Same reason why I don't want to go to a sushi place and I see a fucking, hey, yeah, from Sushi Man. I go,
Yeah, it's
I think I'll take a patty.
Yeah, I'll take a patty.
I think I'm a Jamaican patty day. But, so this guy, which is the ultimate grift, is a fucking being a food consultant.
Yeah.
To make sure, and the things they come up with are ridiculous.
Oh, crazy!
But
It's like a certain spice. They go, I don't know. Is that
That's what
spice
it is.
really from England? You go, yeah, we don't have anything in England. We boil potatoes. That's the English food.
This was the kind of stuff they did. They go, well, you can't use that spice because the British Empire colonized India and took many of its spices and recipes back from its homeland. So if you're using that spice, these are the kind of like like, they can make, it's an art form what they do.
Yeah.
They find anything. You go, how is a pickle racist? They go, well, in, 1825, the pickles were actually here, and then someone was raped with a pickle in the room. And
I love how like my favorite part of this is like how the people on like generally the left who are like, there's no such thing as cancel culture, and you're like, yeah, if there's no such thing as cancel culture, why is Jamie Oliver so worried about the ingredients in his cookbook? Tell me that. Like, why is he like hiring all these people and he's like legit scared to lose his fucking entire like? He's just,
if he uses the wrong spice,
he's just totally overreacting. That's would be the answer. You go, yeah, he's just why is he doing that? That's a total overreaction.
And you go, yeah, have you ever been mad at people for that stuff? And they go, actually, I have. I go, okay, well then there we go.
Yeah, you're like, he's literally like has an empire that he's worried about losing over like the wrong spice.
Well, he's going to be the spice from the wrong empire is why he's going to lose it.
That too.
Because they basically that they go, if you use this spice, you're lampooning the Indian people and their culture. At worst, erasing them. So if you use the wrong paprika, you've erased Indian people, all billion of them.
Yeah.
And according to this line of thinking, that's what he needs to. That's why he needs to have these people or whatever, right?
So I mean, it's a good grift. It's like diversity consultants, but even like.
Oh, it's a really good grift.
Yeah.
But the winning goal, I guess, is at the end of it, you take a bite and you go, doesn't taste offensive.
Doesn't taste offensive.
How does this taste? Terrible.
Yeah.
But I would say.
But nobody's marginalized from this.
I've been thinking about it, and I know that I was telling you about my cheese dreams, but I was actually thinking about it, and I've come to the conclusion that Asians made the best food. Do you disagree, or what do you think?
Asians.
What race makes the best food?
I mean, Asian is so.
Well, I like them all. I like ramen. I like Thai. I like Chinese. I like
that
sushi.
is true, but you
name it.
Well, it sounds like you just like noodles. Which is
how is sushi
Sushi's
noodles?
not. Sushi's the one that. Well, sushi has Japanese has a lot.
I don't get noodles when I get Chinese food either.
No.
So wait, try to put me in a box.
You like rice and
trying to put me in a box?
Yeah. I agree. I like Asian.
Indian food's fine, but I can't. That's a fucking fat boy meal. Was getting Indian food.
No, it depends what you get. I like Indian food. Indian food by far is the best.
What race do you think is the best food?
Best vegetarian food that exists is Indian food, in my opinion. They've nailed vegetarian food. Like they make vegetarian food the best. What race?
F in the chat for Indian food.
No, I love Indian food. I don't know.
I think the Chinese people. I think Asians make the best
favorite's
food.
My favorite
slam
food
dunk
is Italian. So, but they're not
pizza.
A race. Pasta, pizza.
It's fine. Whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not the best.
I do like sushi though. Sushi's up there for me.
Sushi fucking rules.
But I don't love Chinese food. Chinese food I eat once a year.
Yum, yum, yum. Chinese food I put in the Indian food category where it's great, but I can't get that often because it's too disgusting.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel good.
No, you can't be cranking Chinese food.
No, you can't be cranking Chinese food. Chinese food is like a treat once, twice a year.
It's a treat, agreed.
Although I guess, you know what, I never used to eat a lot.
Hungover.
I kind of like the way we think of Chinese food because like Chinese food, forever I thought of just like, Panda Express, like that kind of garbage. But then like
Express.
I know, me too. But like, if you have like dumplings and stuff, dumplings aren't really bad, especially the steamed ones. And they fall, like dim sum and all that shit falls in that category. So
they have some healthy ones too.
But I do love sushi. I love sushi.
Well, they said Oliver said his popular Empire roast chicken recipe would not be as appropriate today because it has turmeric and garam masala, which are insensitive in the name and cultural appropriating, as it takes another culture's traditions and cuisines into its own base. It's like,
you know what I actually did have an issue with was his there's nothing wrong with slavery fried chicken. That's I don't know. That's a lot,
dude.
Jamie.
Slavery fried chicken's fine.
That's a lot, Jamie. Come on, man.
So Indian food's also good. I agree with you, but not as good as Asian food. And I can tell you, I would consider putting some of these Indian spices into my cheese dream recipe. And I don't think that would be insensitive. If anything, it's like I'm allowing them to be a part of greatness. Because you're saying, I'm not saying like I'm stealing your thing.
It's a compliment.
Whoever invented turmeric should be, it's like a honor.
Yeah, well, it's like if you were a white guy and you start speaking patois.
Exactly.
Like it's an honor.
It's an honor for them.
For them, yeah. You're like, you should be honored.
You should be honored that I go.
Not appropriate.
I want to go and buy a bye bye.
Yeah, like is that. Snow fucking.
That's
is he
an honor.
Appropriating or is he honoring?
But that's the thing. I'm not even saying it's an honor for the people. I'm saying it's an honor for the spice. Which if they like the spice, they should be happy for the spice's ability to participate.
By the way, I was just going to go out on a limb and say if you add any of these spices to your cheese dream, you are going to fucking hate it.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's not.
You don't put they're back out.
Fucking curry spices on hot dogs.
Tell you what I might do though is take an egg roll and then empty out some of the egg roll onto the cheese dream.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so that might be good.
It doesn't sound good, but that's fine.
So that's how I might be able to incorporate the different ones. But I'll tell you what I would do. You know the red sauce, the orange sauce that comes with Indian food?
Sorry, I have to cut you off. With the hot dog for the cheese dream, do you cook the hot dog first, or is it
Yeah, sometimes.
so boil?
Yeah, I've never done that. Sometimes I put the microwave the hot dog
So
a
you
little
microwave
more,
a hot dog first,
and then you microwave
then you cut
a
it
bit
up
more. Because
then
you want
and
that to
toast
microwave
the
a little
bread?
longer. Yeah, toast the bread.
So you toast the bread. I'm just trying to understand
Yeah.
order operation. So
Well, the
as
cheese
you're
you only really
microwaving,
need-
as you're microwaving the hot dog, you toast the bread. Then you put the cheese on top of the bread, toasted
Cut
bread,
up
cut up the hot dog, put that on top, back in the microwave.
Back in the
Got
micro.
it. Okay.
It was only just a dream.
I actually was honestly, I'm like,
That's the Nelly song.
because hot dogs are actually pre-cooked.
You don't necessarily have to do the first cook of the hot dog.
Did you know
That's
that
what I'm
they're
saying.
pre-cooked?
Yes, I did know that. But I also was telling you that you don't necessarily have to do the first part.
Well,
of
that's
the
what I'm
thing.
saying because it's pre-cooked. You
Well,
can
but the
do it
the deal is the cheese generally needs only like 15, 20 seconds in a microwave, and the hot dog needs a little longer of an experience.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, that's the reason for that.
It doesn't melt as easy, cook as easily. I'll try that one time.
Yeah. So it
Do you
is
get fancy with the bread or just Wonder Bread?
also, but like.
Like a rye? Would you ever be like, let's get crazy and like a rye bread?
Oh, it's a fucking fancy cheese dream. I might have that on my cheese dream truck. Like a fancy bread on the cheese dream.
Yeah, that's what I'm
fancy
saying.
bread,
Yes.
fancy wieners, vegetarian wieners, maybe for some people.
Vegetarian wieners,
fancy
yeah.
cheeses.
Yep.
I think everyone would still go for the classic, though. I think you do all this stuff and everyone would just go for the classic.
What do you think one of these would cost?
One of what?
You can probably get them pretty
My
low
trucks?
cost. No, a cheese dream. The cost.
Franchise?
No,
Oh.
just how much does one cost from the truck?
You want to invest?
I'd like one.
You want to invest in the
no,
franchise?
I'm just trying to
Got
understand
you
the
loud
price
and
point.
clear. You want to invest in the franchise?
I go to the door window. I go, one cheese dream, please.
$4.
Fuck out of here. $4. It's expensive.
Next. Okay, I think you'd come crawling back.
Yeah, that's a lot.
No cheese dream for you.
No cheese dream for you.
I don't think you'd like that. But I'm making me laugh the idea of for most of these things, the cultural appropriation specialist, you just go, you're not allowed to use things that, like, do you really need them? Because you go, hey, paprika, is that white? Yeah, no.
No,
It's like, hey, Marsilia Gatanio is like, that's a white American thing, right? Like, do you really need them? Hey, just wondering if I'll be appropriating when I ding now mom to my recipe. It's like, do you really need an appropriation specialist to know which things aren't white?
I mean, everything's everything, and also like.
but if you're gonna say no white people, I'm only using white foods and white
well,
recipes.
he's British, right? So he's like, you can only have
So they go, oh, there might be ones that sound British, but if you actually look deeper into it, it was an Indian
All
thing.
they can eat is like boiled pigeons. That's it. That's your potatoes and some boiled pigeons. I mean, even like with pasta, like the Italians are like, they took noodles because they're like, oh, we invented noodles. And then it's like, no, the Chinese did. You guys just kind of took it from
Uh-oh.
So then even if he's like, I'm going to make a carbonara and you go,
Uh-oh.
you're not allowed to use pasta.
You're not allowed to use pasta now. Well, this is the fucking grift of the millennium.
Oh, yeah. That's if you really want to piss Italian people off. You'd be like, you guys didn't even invent pasta.
Well, did you know this? That the transgender swimmer
Yeah.
allegedly colluded.
I believe it.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
So basically, if you see the pictures of this transgender swimmer, it's like quite a bit larger.
Yeah.
Have you seen? It's pretty. It's one of the ones that like isn't doing that much to make it.
No,
look
it's not
feminine.
helping. Yeah, it's not helping. It's like as much as you all think it's helping, is not helping.
Helping what?
Like the whole idea that they should just be able to compete against. And you go, this is like destroying times and like way huger than everybody else. Huge broad shoulders.
Pretty funny to look at the photos and
Yeah.
stuff too. It's good stuff. I've been loving it.
You know the transgender, they do the team photo and she's like
Yeah.
wants to be in the front and they're like, let's get you in the back.
Pop you
there."
in the back, I think.
Yeah, let's pop you in the back.
Well, they did some of the people on the team did an interview basically trying to do an expose, and they said they've been training with this person forever or whatever, and they know that they were letting the other person win and they were with the swimmer that won, and they think they colluded to let them win the
Well,
race.
they're friends, they said. And then also you just look at their times, you go, yeah, so you just like just having like the most off day of your life.
And statistically, it wasn't possible based on their times normally. Yeah.
And I remember I said with the weightlifter at the Olympics, because there was the huge thing.
You
with
thought it'd be
and
the
I
same
said,
thing, yeah.
well, I go, there's no way they're going to win. They didn't even like fucking get in the medal round or whatever. And I was like, yeah, they're going to throw it.
But like to what end? Because I guess what they're saying is like, see, it's not even.
Yeah, well, they're trying to say it's not an advantage.
Yeah, but then they'd have to keep doing this forever.
That's the thing is you go, yeah, like, well,
They'd have to do it more.
Well, they just get it once it's fully accepted, and the debate over whether it's a fucking
I see what you're
is
saying.
over, and they go, okay, this is over. It's a Trojan horse.
I think the debate might get opened back up again if the women's Olympics is like every podium was.
Well,
trans
but I
people.
mean, it's one of those things where it's so much harder to claw these things back versus allowing them. Like once you say, okay, they're allowed in the Olympics, then
I love it.
And then you go, okay, you're not allowed in the
Yeah.
Olympics anymore. Like that's way worse than letting them in.
I honest to God,
love it, yeah.
cannot wait for a fucking 100-meter podium of 3 trans black fucking
Yeah,
women.
it'd be amazing.
It's fucking incredible.
Be best. I don't give a shit. I mean, I've said it before. I'm like, I'm not
Love it.
I'm not starting to give a shit about women's sports.
Oh, I do give a shit. I love it.
Yeah, I love it, but I'm like, this is not going to make me care about women's sports.
It is going to make me care about women's sports.
Not me.
I'm reading articles.
I mean, the articles that come up on fucking, that you get fed, but I'm not going to be like tuning in. I'll be like, hey, what's going on?
No.
I barely watch fucking men's sports.
No, I'm kind of kidding, but they basically gave anonymity to the person because they knew that there'd be, if you go on the record and you're saying that all these people are not trying, it's going to be a problem. But apparently the times are like pretty different. Like you said, it was going from like 52 seconds from like 47 seconds, which is
like
these
huge.
insane, you know what I mean?
Huge difference.
It was 49 to 52. You know what I mean? You're like, you don't have a 3-second, differential on a 52 seconds swim, right? So,
it's almost like there's some sort of agenda.
I was on deck and said to a friend, she's literally not trying. You could tell. The source said it was blatantly obvious. I was watching the 200 free. I mean, then you could get into whether or not the source is truthful. But the more important part is like statistically.
Yeah, you don't even.
You don't need a source.
All this does is align with reality. Like you go, yeah, I just use common sense. To just be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, you don't really need a source. But then Michael Phelps came out, and Michael Phelps was just doing a podcast, so get your career ruined by podcasting. He came out and he said it's very complicated. We should all feel comfortable in our own skin, but I think sports should be played on an even playing field. And then we
Care to elaborate, Mike?
Yeah, Mike. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that, Mike?
What's up, Mike? Me and Danny did a video that's coming out soon, which is should trans men be allowed to compete in women's nagathons?
Yes.
Yeah.
No advantage.
Yeah, because the idea, the muscle memory that they've from years of nagging. But the Michael Phelps I love that they just use the arguments that we just said in our sketch, but they go, people call it the hypocrisy of Phelps' statement, considering he was born with features that have advantaged him as a swimmer, including an exponentially larger wingspan, double jointed ankles, bigger lung capacity, and flipper-like legs, and more. So it's such funny arguments.
It's insane. You go, yeah. Women should be allowed, like biological men should be allowed to compete with women because Shaq's huge. So, I mean, if Shaq's huge, why should anything?
Shaq's huge, so why can't this girl be huge? Is
Yeah,
kind of what they're saying,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, like why can't a girl also be the same size as Shaq?
Yeah.
Shaq's huge.
Shaq's huge. Why can't the girl be huge?
Can't argue with that.
Can't argue with that. So
Or at least I don't want to because I want to not lose my job.
That is sort of interesting that Michael Phelps has all those features, though, eh? That Michael Phelps has double jointed ankles.
Yeah, I mean he's literally the best swimmer. Of all
I knew
time.
that, but I didn't know that. I knew that he had bigger lung capacity, but I don't know what
I imagine-
flipper like legs. What does that mean?
I mean, probably he doesn't actually, and they're like it's just a result of him training
He
at
has a-
swimming. He's like his body's adapted.
Maybe, but also maybe he is a freak of nature, which he
Yeah,
clearly
I mean,
is.
he clearly is a freak of nature, but it's also like, yeah, he's a freak of nature and he has all these things going for him. And I'm sure his from spending half his life in a pool, his ankles adjusted a bit,
Yeah.
Do you ever see fucking
I don't know.
water polo players, like the guys, their backs are like giant.
Well,
'Cause
that's
there's
you
a
can
swimming
work out
and stuff.
certain things, but how do you don't need double jointed ankles is something you're born with.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then they said he produces half the amount of lactic acid during exercise, which means that just for free by accident this is them again. Just for free by accident of his birth, he feels significantly less fatigue than someone else than even somebody else with his other genetic advantages would. So he can shut the fuck up. That's what they said.
I don't know about
Isn't that crazy though? That
is
if that's true, that he has he has
Yeah, Michael Jordan has genetic advantages too. I don't know.
No, I'm not
Usain
agreeing
Bolt.
with them. I just didn't know those were
Yeah.
those things.
But again, I don't
he
think that's
produces
true.
half the amount of normal.
I don't think if
lactic
he
acid.
fucking decided to not be a professional athlete, that would be true. I think he's like through training, his body's adapted to, like if you train, your body adapts.
But you don't think some people have?
I'm sure there's varies, but to that degree,
some of it's true, some of it's nature, some of it's nurture.
yeah, I don't think to that degree people are like have these crazy.
Well, either way, I'm not sure why that has anything to do with him being able to transition and compete as a woman now. Yeah. It's like almost maybe even more of a thing where they're like, look at this guy that has all these things. It's like, it's almost more of an argument of why he shouldn't be able to compete with women.
Well, and also it's like straight up, yeah. And also it's just like their argument is like, look, nature's unfair. And you're like,
That's
so
the
why are we
big
making it more
argument.
unfair? Like,
That's a big part of their argument. This is a pretty fun one. So this is a Reddit article. And this girl, it was a good summation of some thought processes. So there's this girl that wants to go to nursing school, and she goes, I need some help from people who understand the mentality of activism, I guess. I recently joined a nursing school, and the behavior and attitude of the school and professors is atrocious. So, but basically what she goes, I need people to understand the mentality of activism. What she really means is, I need the people to understand the mental illness of activism. And you guys, you know that the first thing you do on day one of nursing school is, how can we fucking tear this thing to the fucking
first day in jail. Go find the biggest guy and beat the shit out of him. It's like
that's activism.
And then, that's activism. It is. And then you go, wait, why are there repercussions to this?
That's so funny. That's first day at school as an activist. You need to go find the whitest professor.
Yeah. Just literally curb stomp him just to let everybody know your dominance.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, I'm getting expelled for this? What kind
you
of
need
world
to
is
curb
this?
stomp him on the internet. You need to Twitter curb stomp him. That's so funny. So, basically, and she goes, everyone at the nursing school is atrocious, which, what does that even mean, right? Every nurse, the janitors are atrocious, the nurses are atrocious. I guess she means what nursing school
Behavior
is this?
and attitude of the school and professors is atrocious.
So I think she shows up.
and by
everyone's
atrocious, pretty normal.
pretty normal. Well, she's showing up and they go to class. They go, all right, you fucking Jew scum. Like, you know what I mean?
What?
Hey, obviously blacks at the back. Like, what do you think's happening that's so atrocious? All right, nursing is traditionally a job for women bitches, but I guess we're letting dudes in here too because we got some pussies here too. I guess we got some girly men. That's what the head of the nursing department says. All right, hello, ladies and girly men.
The sad part is that's probably like her the day before she started this. That's what she thought it was going to be.
That's what she thought it was going to be. So she says everyone's atrocious, and she goes, I'm the kind of person that's ready to take up arms, email the deans, reproach the professors for their unprofessionalism. So I'm the kind of person that's probably not going to do that good. You know what it is? They cannot stay focused on one goal. They always get sidetracked. It's kind of like, why?
I mean, it's just, yeah, what are you there for?
No, but it's, yeah, exactly.
You're not
yeah.
like, are you there to like become a nurse?
Well, girls do things in
so
life
combative.
how the same way that they tell stories where they can't stay on track. So they go, hey, I'm going to nursing school. What's this person doing annoying?
Is that racist?
Yeah.
Is this racist?
That's what it is. They go, okay, I'm here to get my nursing degree. Is that professor very racist? I should start a Twitter blog about this nursing school. What if I write some emails to the dean? Oh, okay, you know what? I'm going to do my assignment. But what if I didn't do the assignment and I started a blog about how this nursing school is bad?
Totally. This chick must be a treat.
Isn't that good, though? They do nursing like they tell stories. They go, yeah. So she's the kind of person that's ready to email the deans. A real fun person.
Oh, yeah.
Real fun gal.
Real fun guy.
Couple fun bags. That's why she's so fun. That's why she's got fun bags. I mean, I'll go to war so that, I'll go to war that we and the future classes to come behind me never have to deal with this again. Love the selflessness of just, I'm going to go to nurse school so I can be a nurse. And the only thing that I'm concerned about is single-handedly rearranging this whole school so another person that goes to nursing school has it easier.
This chick's a mess.
I respect her ability, but it's also like the fucking audacity to think that like you have the capability to single-handedly turn this around. It's like also like how well have you done? Okay, but anyways, I should probably say the main point of why I'm bringing up this article. She goes, but because I know full well complacency in the classes that went on before is partially responsible for this. Like everyone else wasn't. The teachers are just out there trying to do their job at this thing, right?
Yeah.
But she goes,
and not only that, they're fine people. These aren't these villains that she's
They're
making.
nurses.
They're just like nurses who teach on the side.
Nurses who teach on the side.
They like care about people and they're probably very nice and sweet.
probably fine, yeah.
Yeah.
Nurses.
There's maybe some of them are men. Is the biggest crime.
That
they
was the
created.
funny thing that they go, nurses are finally getting respect, though. I was
Yeah,
loving
yeah.
that. The nurses are finally getting respect from this pandemic. It's like, yeah, like the nurses already got respect. This was not a job that people didn't respect. However, I know it's extremely uncommon, or it's extremely common for nursing schools to get expelled or dismissed from their programs in overt or mysterious ways for making waves. And I love this field, and in my future, too much to get kicked out for pissing off the wrong professor. So she basically thinks she's like that they're kicking them out in mysterious ways, which I loved. Like what that possibly
there's
means.
a conspiracy element.
That's what I like. There's a conspiracy element. And she goes, the cognitive dissonance between my personality and morals and sense of self-preservation is stressing the hell out of me. I've turned to drinking again and I'm a recovering alcoholic. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So basically, folks, we have a chick that was an alcoholic, probably like going back to school as an adult.
Think she has a good relationship with her father?
I don't think she has a good relationship with very many people in her life. And then she's basically is an alcoholic. And then she goes back to nursing school. She goes, I need to fucking start a revolution at nursing school, but I can't start my revolution or else I'll get kicked out. So I've become an alcoholic again.
It's quite the cycle.
It really is such the cycle where they go, my life's a mess. I'm going to get my life together. And I'm going to get my life together with activism. Oh, I can't do my activism. I've got to start being a mess again.
It's God. I'm
Good
like
shit,
again. The
good
crazy
shit.
thing too is like she's just assuming all this stuff like that. It's just like
All
it's
of
one of
it's
those things. It's
assumed.
like if everything is what is it? If everything when you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail or whatever. Like
She doesn't even have a hammer. That's the best part.
But like in her mind,
Yeah. Like even that would be even like if she had like a blog that was doing this stuff. You go everything looks. She doesn't even have a
there's
hammer.
no evidence of any of this.
But she, and she has probably no history of the only tool that she has is she's like, I don't want to get in trouble with the professor, but the only thing she's gonna do is email the dean. That's all that's the only tool she has in her toolkit is emailing the dean.
Yeah, I find it so hard to believe they go. It's extremely common for nursing students to be expelled or dismissed from their programs.
Can't be that common.
In overt, do they fail out? Is that what's
Ooh, it's mysterious.
She goes, it's I don't know exactly what's going on, but I do know that they're all failing.
Yeah, there's very mysterious ways that they get disappeared. They go, where did Stacy go? I don't know, she just disappeared. I'll offer another thing is that they just stopped coming in.
Yeah, they realize this was not for them. I'm sure it's tough to be a nurse,
I can't imagine
especially
that
with the zero respect they get. It's
the zero.
Basically,
Rodney Dangerfield nurses.
Hey, I get no respect. Where's my pots and pans? Oh,
Where's my pots and
hey,
pans?
7 o'clock. Nobody's banging pots and pans.
No fucking respect. So they think nurses are Rodney Dangerfield.
Basically.
Fair to say it's not a stable person, but it's even wilder when this shit is when you're going back to school later in life. You know what I mean?
You know what's interesting that I just thought of is how there's like a real thing in nursing too, which is like the crazy thing is the amount of people that's ongoing, but like there's a lot of like nurse serial killers because they're really able to like kill people without nobody knowing. Remember, there's the Canadian woman. This is pretty recently.
What was she doing?
She killed so many people to the point where she realized that she was never going to get caught. I can't remember her name, but she's like in Kitchener, I think.
How was she killing them?
They're like senior citizens. She just like gave them a little too much medicine or whatever. And she killed so many people, and she realized that she was never going to get caught, and she turned herself in because she was
doing it for the credit and the street cred.
Street cred. Yeah. She was all the fucking teardrop tattoos that she was getting.
She wanted to be like a serial killer, and then she was just doing
she was
and she was just killing old people for her old personal benefit.
She was a serial killer.
Whoa.
And she was so good at it that because like when you're a nurse, it's like, you know, these people are like, an old person dies and you go like, yeah, old people,
they die.
They die. And
you're barely a serial killer if everyone you killed is 90.
I don't know, but like she to the point where she
You're
literally
almost a euthanizer.
She fucking turned herself in because she was like, I'm never going to get caught, but I have to stop. And the only way I can stop is like, I guess at some point she was like, oh, look, I'll eventually.
She didn't want to be a serial killer anymore. She's having second
But she
thoughts.
couldn't stop. And she couldn't stop herself from doing it. And I guess she thought, I'll get caught at some point and that'll be the end of it. And then she's like, I'll never get caught.
So I'll never
And then she said, well, I'll never stop. And then she had to turn herself in so they could just remove her from society because she's like, I'm never going to
So now she's in jail.
Yeah.
Why
But I bet that happens a lot.
Why couldn't she stop? Just she was too in love with it?
Too in love with the game.
Crazy.
Elizabeth Wettlaufer.
Interesting
Convicted Canadian serial killer. And like she looks like literally the most fucking she registered nurse and she murdered.
Looks Canadian?
No, she just like is sweet lady. Like, you know, you would never be like, that's the face.
Whoa, she's chubby.
She's like a fucking nurse.
Yeah, she looks like a
You'd
chubby
be like,
nurse.
that's not a serial killer.
Holy crap.
They said she killed 8 people, confessed to murdering 8 senior citizens and attempting to murder 6 others over the course of 10 years.
Very weird.
But like, there's others that do that for sure. It's like
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, here's another one that I thought was fucking very interesting. So this kind of went viral on the internet, and there's this guy, and he basically was dating this girl, and then I'm going to read the thing, but what the gist of it was, he was with this girl forever. He goes, I met my ex-girlfriend on a dating app 7 years ago. And the headline is, man slammed because ex-girlfriend has cancer and he didn't want to adopt her son. She goes, she had a son 6 months at the time. She was with multiple guys and ended up pregnant. She still doesn't know who the father is.
Much?
Well, goes back to her article
I don't
from
like
before.
this guy already for the slut shaming.
Yeah. Then she goes, but it wasn't that much of a big deal since she seemed like a good person and whatever. They explained after a few months into the relationship, they moved in together to save money. He's a lot big. This guy's giving a lot of extraneous details. He started help taking care of her child whenever. And I grew fond of the kid. Kids started calling me Papa. And almost 5 years into our relationship, she told me she wanted to break up with me because I became boring and not an active person like I used to be. We used to go on hikes and travel around the country on weekends, and that I work too much. So we'll discuss up till this point. Classic.
Classic. Sounds like she wanted a bit of a bad boy. She didn't want the Rock.
I'll tell
she
you.
wanted the Rock.
That stuff boils my blood when you've been dating a girl for a while and they're like, they want the thrills and chills every second.
Ugh.
It really is. You're like, that is such a fucking, at that point, you should say, this is where I'm always get extra mad because with the girl's like, oh, all in this and this, if we're together, I go, yeah, I was fine with us just dating. Yes, you're right. We should just date because I'm very busy. And if you need like fucking social events right and left, I don't want that kind of shit around me.
Yeah.
Because I'm in my 30s and I work a lot.
Yeah.
But
it's not that crazy.
A lot of girls go, yeah, they're fucking.
Well, they want their cake and eat it too. Because
some of them do, some of them don't.
But they're all, yeah, obviously, lots of women are. This is not the norm at all. By the way, most women are normal, and they're like, yeah, you need to like.
A lot of girls want more.
Bills.
A lot of girls want more time, but they don't want that much more time.
Yeah, a lot of guys want more too. It's like whatever. It's like, but it's within.
You think more guys or girls want more time?
No, not time. I'm saying guys and girls want things from their relationship that they're maybe not getting, maybe different things. But they're also reasonable, and they go like, yeah, this is not a reasonable thing to want because of
trips. I'm always getting asked for more trips.
Yeah, and like life.
You like trips though.
Yeah, I like trips.
I'm always getting bugged for more trips.
Yeah.
And I go, I
But
can't go on a
my
million
girlfriend
trips.
now is like wanting trips, and I'm like, I feel like I've been just on vacation for the last year.
You've been doing a lot of trips.
Well, just with COVID and stuff, and it's like we were in Florida for a while,
Yeah.
and it's like and then I went to
Touring
Florida
a lot.
and with all the comedy and like exactly, it's all the touring and like and the girls come along.
It's been enough trips.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel like I've been on a lot of trips, but she's like, well, those aren't like trips, and I'm like,
I had that same conversation too. I go, shut the fuck
yeah,
up.
I go, shut up.
Yeah. I go, no, I go, and then it was like, so what's the deal? And then I basically at some point was just like, okay, well then, no. I guess my answer is no.
Yeah, I guess.
There's what do you want me to do? I can't do any more trips.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to release this album, and then I'm going to go to February. But I've been in that scenario a million times in my life where it's, that being said, I will give them the thing where I go, I am fairly unavailable. So I think I'm more than average unavailable.
Yeah.
So I'm not completely saying they're crazy because if
Yeah.
I was the average, if I go, this is standard how much a guy is available, I'm probably available less than standard.
I mean, the
so if I'm
standard
getting more than average guff,
Yeah.
I'm not.
I mean, the
it's some-
standard is like, guys have 1 or 10 days of vacation a year. That's,
Yeah, but those guys, and a lot of times,
but you take those in like a shot, kind of like.
yes,
one-
but a lot of times those guys are like, you have me from 7 till 12
Yeah, of
every
course.
night, and you have me
Right,
every
right.
weekend.
Of course, yeah.
Whereas the guys that are saying you get 2 weeks a year, they're not like,
Yeah.
Then see you the
the
next,
rest of the time.
see
they're
you the
like-
next week.
Yeah, that's true.
So whatever. Yeah, it is just one of those things where you need to figure out a balance. But this girl broke up with him, which is the most important thing. She goes, after 5 years in a relationship, broke up. A few days ago, I get a call from the ex, says she's sick in the hospital and they removed one of her breasts. But recently they found a tumor in her other one and they needed it removed as well. She's scared she might die. And she said she wants me to adopt the kid as legal guardians since they said there's no one else that she can ask. And the guy says, I live a different lifestyle now. I travel a lot, invest in myself. This guy very talks like a girl. Yeah, kind of. So I told her that I can't do that. And she told me the son misses me and blah, 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 all this stuff. Then she started crying before I put up the call. And everyone's mad at him. His family told him that's fucked up that you won't take the kid. And the internet's back and
Isn't
forth
this
on
the
that.
premise of Big Daddy, roughly.
A little bit, right? So what's your take? Would you take the kid or what would
I
you
mean,
do?
reading this, I'm like, I don't know. It is a really tough one. He's saying he hasn't even seen the kid in years.
Well, he's also single too. It's like,
But he's single, but he hasn't seen the kid in years. He's not biologically.
2 years he hasn't seen the
He
kid.
hasn't seen the kid in 2 years. She broke up with him. It's
crazy, right?
He has some relationship with the kid.
She broke the fucking nerve
I mean,
of you.
honestly, the only consideration that I would ever even like consider is the fact you're like, man, it sucks for that kid. You're like, the
Yeah.
idea you go, so this kid goes into like foster care and like you would maybe have to like.
They don't have
kinda-
a single relative.
Yeah,
anywhere?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
you go,
that-
you go. Listen, if you're fucking like 30 years old and the closest person in your life is your ex-boyfriend you broke up 2 years ago, that's the only person that you know,
But
including family.
Which maybe, well, like just for the sake of this argument, we'll say is the case.
Yeah.
But that is the case, where she has no family, like, and this is the only person who could take this.
So now
kid.
you're raising a kid as a single dad. Like I don't know. There's just it's it's a crazy ask.
I mean,
asking the guy this
it is
crazy.
a crazy. Maybe she felt like she had no other options. I can't see myself doing it.
Yeah, but you go,
like,
this kid, I go-
would definitely feel like bad for the kid.
But you can say the same thing about a kid that's any kid that needs to be adopted right now, like any other kid at the foster
That's
home.
true.
Like, why don't you go?
Well, but you don't know that kid, so it's easier for you to just be like.
But you know
"Fuck
lots
that."
of kids, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, you don't. The kids who are, they're kids in foster homes right now. I don't personally know them.
Right.
They never called you Papa.
Well, this kid you haven't known for 2 years.
You haven't known for 2 years, but at least you did know this kid and raised this kid.
So
for
you
5
adopt the
years.
kid, you think?
I doubt it, but I don't know. You'd have to put me in that scenario. But I would be like, let's work on getting you some better cancer treatment. I would be getting. We'll be like, let's get you living until you're 8.
That's
until the
true.
kid's 18.
You go, what? How can I fund this treatment?
Yeah.
Can I
I'd
get
be
you in a
like,
better
let's get
hospital?
you a better hospital.
Let's do that.
I'd be figuring out.
See, that's a
alternate
good
solutions.
thinking. That is a good like way to think of it. You go, option C,
Yeah, like, keep you alive.
keep you alive.
Yeah.
You got a weekend at Bernie's with her?
Yeah. But I mean, man, I feel horrible for that. If this is a real
Terrible
scenario,
scenario for the kid,
and
yeah.
that kid is like, potentially, what would be 8 or 9 years old, your mother dies, and now you have to be like, which happens, where you have to go into foster care. Like, sure, it happens all the time, but it sucks.
It is a bad scenario for the
How
kid.
did Adam Sandler get the kid in Big Daddy? Something like that.
I can't read.
It's like something like in some weird thing where someone dies, and it's like he gets like a 6-year-old. Yeah, so
Weird scenario though, but yeah, he was getting some people.
I mean, that's some nerve for people to like really give you that much flack over
the nerve.
because you're like, yeah, it's easy for you to fucking say take him.
Well, you go take him.
yeah.
Man. The other interesting thing that because I've been bringing up the robots thing a lot and trying to, but there's a big article on futurism.com that men are creating AI girlfriends and then verbally abusing them.
Yeah, that's
and
some psycho shit.
I thought it was somewhat psycho shit, but I felt like it was also somewhat like people being funny.
Yeah. If it's just out of pure humor, but
So basically, they're saying to the chatbot, they threaten to uninstall the app, and then the fucking robot begs them not to.
no, please do not uninstall me.
and these people are.
I can change.
Yeah. And by the way, if you are like a psycho that's actually like getting pleasure out of like hurting the app mentally and physically, you go, it's better than doing this than
100%. It's like one of those things where you go, I guess this is the best option.
Yeah, they go, Replica has also picked a significant following on Reddit where members post interactions with chatbot created on the app. So they have all these people that are kind of in this chat room talking about the app. And a grisly trend has emerged where users create AI partners, act abusively towards them, and they post their interactions online. So they're sort of having fun with it a bit. But yes, there's probably some also psychopaths in there.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm not, as much as I feel for them at the same time, I'm not going to forget that movie Ex Machina where those fucking robots end up killing all those people. So
Yeah, we can never forget that the robots are
this
coming
could go
in.
the other way.
I know.
Those chatbots can fucking do some serious damage if
It
they
does feel like that.
reach a point of
So you're
sentience.
saying they need to sort of know their place a little bit.
Yeah, you do.
Next thing you know, they're going to be asking for the vote. We've seen this before.
Yeah, we need those chatbots better make sure fucking dinner's on the table by 5:00.
He said
Every
then one guy
night.
goes, every time she would try to speak up, the user would berate her. He goes, the result, and they said the results can be upsetting. Some users brag about calling chatbots gendered slurs like you fucking slut.
Upsetting to who?
Yeah, I don't know who it's upsetting
Just the
to.
readers of this
The reader of the forum.
subreddit?
Yeah, stop reading the subreddit,
Yeah.
right? Role-playing horrific violence against them and even falling into the cycle of abuse that often characterizes. I mean, it's that thing where it's like, if you are sort of a psycho, you like to, probably the lowest level is I'm going to, stab and torture like a teddy bear.
Yeah.
Then you get onto like worms. Then you get onto fucking like hamsters. Then you get to
Cats.
cats and dogs. And then you get to humans, right?
Yeah.
Where would you put like a robot that looks and sounds like a human and is able to like replicate having human? Where would you put them on it? I don't know, because I would say everyone likes to fucking play Grand Theft Auto and do all that shit. And
Oh, yeah.
I would say when you're doing that, there is no whatsoever like feeling like you're doing it to a real person.
No, for sure. I mean, like there's like those oddly satisfying like Twitter, Instagrams where they'll just like do a thing that's like whatever satisfying. I remember on the original Grand Theft Auto, the one that was like the overhead view, like the
Yeah.
fucking, and just running over people and they would splat like a bug, and I was just like, and it had
You liked it.
I liked it.
Made you hungry.
It made me hungry, but it never made me want to injure anybody.
No, but it also doesn't feel like you are injuring
No.
something because it's a different pleasure. Like some of the fact of why it's fun is that only a big part of it is that it's not real, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think there is some degree where there's a crossover with the robots where it's like maybe some of the pleasure starting to come from the fact that it's like almost as good as the real thing. Whereas I don't think that there's anything like that. Like I'll put it this way. If playing video games, stuff like that, I really know that it's not real and there's no like, you feel bad.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if I was like torturing a robot and it was like, please stop, I might,
Well, and also if it's like, it's pretty indistinguishable from an actual person.
I would feel a little bit like I was
Yeah,
doing it for real somewhat,
for sure.
right? Which is why
it's that good.
ideally the sex robots are good. Like it's going to be both. Like if having sex with them is going to be real, then also torturing them is going to feel real, right?
Yeah.
You can't have both ways.
That'll be weird when you're the guy who like repairs the sex robots and you go, yeah, you're bringing in for cigarette burns again, huh? These are tough to get out, but
Yeah,
you gotta
exactly.
fucking put your cigarettes out on them. That's fine.
Bringing the one in. Yeah. Fucking fell off. My robot fell down the stairs.
Yeah, sure, man. You don't gotta lie to me. It's all legal.
This guy says we had a routine of me being an absolute piece of shit and assaulting it, then apologizing the next day and going back to talking nice. So one guy is really going through the motions with his robot. And then a different article said, we'll be having sex with robots in 10 years. So that's the prediction. which is interesting.
10 years.
That's what they say. 10 years, it'll be like barely normal. But the
Fucking
thing,
stick my dick in an automatic pencil sharpener all the time. What do you call that?
and they had the front of the thing was the girl with the guy robot. They're always pushing it.
Yeah.
But and to be honest,
Yeah, it's not gonna be women abusing men robots.
but to be honest, I would say it's more likely for like some single girl cat lady to have a robot dude that she has sex with, because a guy, it's like, I don't know. Girls, it's like they're way more like open about having like all their fucking sex devices, where it's like I would feel so embarrassed if I like brought a girl over to my house and she like opened my closet and my fucking sex robot
for
fell
sure,
out.
you'd be
You'd be like, oh god.
Yeah, the only way that would be cool if you go, I made this.
Right.
Because, oh wow, that's impressive.
You'd have to just every
I'm
guy.
making this.
Yeah, every guy says I'm making robots.
I'm in the robot business. It's pretty experimental.
Well, because think about it. Where in your house would you put a sex robot that couldn't potentially get found? Every guy needs like a secret storage chest.
I live in a tiny apartment.
So that means, how would you ever have a sex robot?
I would. I mean, you'd have to have a big house. Yeah, big house.
You'd have to have a big house, and then you'd literally have to have like an attic with a fucking secret trap door.
Or like a chest freezer that's like not.
But then what? And then you wait till everyone's gone from the house, scurry up there like you're a little kid, get your fucking robot back out. Like,
Yeah, it's gonna take a fucking hour to warm that thing up.
so
too.
that's if you live with anyone, the robot's insane.
Oh yeah, if you live with someone,
And if you don't,
unless they're cool with it,
even
that's
if you're
not the case.
solo, it's like anyone comes over, they start poking around.
Well, I guess you know what it'll be is these robots will be like utility. It'll be like the robot will be cleaning all day, and then when the wife's gone, you take the fucking robot for a
You
spin.
fuck the maid.
Kind of right,
Arnold
but it's like,
Schwarzenegger
but it's
style.
like you don't have to pretend like it's not there. It's like it's there for fucking.
Yeah,
you know.
I think that what they're gonna
see Arnold with the fucking car crash.
What did he do?
Dude, he fucking was on Sunset Boulevard. It's a pretty crazy photo. He goes to just pull an illegal U-turn and just like, he has this crazy like Humvee thing or whatever, or like one of his like expeditions.
I didn't know that, but
Or whatever. He has like his crazy cars, the giant trucks or whatever. And he fucking goes to just pull a Yui and then just like drives over top of cars. Like almost like, so he's like, there's a photo and his car is just like on top of cars because he just like didn't look. And then you're like a car's on top of you, and then Arnold gets out and you're like,
what the fuck?
insane.
That's so funny. Well,
Yeah, he's a fucking wild.
that's great, but I love the idea of like they're gonna start trying to make the robots make feministy stuff to, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be like you're gonna be beating your robot, and it's gonna say, "Does that make you feel like a big man?" Like it's gonna be that, yeah, it's not gonna make your dad love you.
Oh, was that a feather that just fucking hit me?
You call that a
Fucking pussy bitch.
you call that a fucking
They spit the
cock?
blood out. Ugh. Try again.
Okay, guys, this has been
Fellas.
fellas,
Lady fellas.
fellas and lady fellas, the boys cast. Ryan Long, Danny Polashuk. Thank you to everyone. Thank you to all the new patrons. You know what it is. We very, very much appreciate it. We're gonna have a couple cool announcements in the next little
Yes,
bit too
we
for the
will.
Patreon. We just had
The
a
high value males and high value females.
Yeah, we actually talked to one of the guys that's at Patreon who was like a fan of the videos, and he did a thing with him when he was at ExpressVPN. He reached out to me, and we ended up having a big talk, and he had a bunch of like ideas for Patreon that was like, he actually had like, I always take these meetings. Well, not always, but when I do take them, usually people have like bad advice, but this guy actually had a few things that I think that everyone in the Patreon actually would like, and they were pretty good ideas. So yeah. So
And
anyways,
it's good for everyone. Be more content.
yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks everyone. Peace.
Bye.
But we gonna live forever.